The mining colony on planet Vetronine was a lonely place. Dust storms blew across empty fields, and the sky stayed dark for weeks. Miners worked long hours, digging rare metals for the big companies. One of them was Tomel, a quiet man who did his job without talking much. He had no family on this planet, just a small metal hut near the old supply shed. One evening, after work, Tomel walked past the supply shed to check his tools. The air was heavy, and the sun looked like a red dot in the sky. As he opened the shed door, he heard a soft sound like a faint cough. Tomel froze. The shed was supposed to be empty. He stepped inside slowly and looked around. Behind a stack of old crates, something moved. "Who's there?" Tomel called out, his voice calm but firm. A small head peeked out. Then another dot of figures came into view, thin, trembling, with large silver eyes. They looked young, not more than children. Their skin was soft gray, and they had smooth faces with tiny markings on their cheeks. Tomel stared at them. He had seen many alien races in his time, but these two were strangers. The twins looked scared. One of them, a boy, tried to stand but almost fell. The girl held him up with weak arms. Tomel saw how thin they were, like they hadn't eaten for days. Their clothes were torn, and their hands shook. He took a slow step forward. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said softly. "Are you hungry?" The twins looked at each other, then gave a small nod. Tomel took out a small food bar from his jacket and broke it in half. He placed the pieces on the ground and stepped back. The twins crawled forward and picked up the food with shaking hands. They ate quickly, eyes watching him the whole time. Tomel waited until they finished. He gave them water from his flask. After a while, the boy whispered, "Thank you." His voice was soft and shaky. Tomel gave a small nod. "What are your names?" he asked. "I'm Leo." The boy said, "This is my sister, Mira." Tomel crouched down to their level. "My name is Tomel. You're safe with me." Leo looked down at his hands. "Our ship, it crashed. We don't know where our family is. We ran. But the men with guns, they chased us." Tomel's eyes narrowed. Raiders. He had heard about them, bad people who attacked crash sites for loot. "Where are you staying?" Tomel asked. Mira shook her head. "Nowhere. We hide here. We thought we'd die here." Tomel stood up. "You won't come with me." The twins hesitated but followed him. Tomel led them to his hut at the edge of the colony. It was a small place with one bed, a table, and some old blankets. He gave them more food and let them sit on the soft blankets. That night, while the twins slept curled up on the floor, Tomel sat on the chair and watched them. He thought about what he was doing. The mining company didn't allow strangers on the site, especially aliens with no papers. If the guards found out, Tomel could be sent away, or worse, died, but he couldn't leave them out there to starve. He had lived a lonely life for too long. Something inside him told him this was the right thing to do. The next morning, the twins woke up looking a little stronger. Tomel gave them breakfast and asked them more about their story. They told him how their family was part of a peaceful trade group. Their ship was caught in a storm and crashed near the colony. Their parents told them to run when strange men started shooting. They had been running and hiding since. Tomel listened quietly. He could see they spoke the truth. They were just children lost and afraid. Over the next few days, Tomel kept them hidden. He brought food from the workers' kitchen and gave them his own blankets to stay warm. Leo and Mira started to trust him. Mira liked to help with small tasks in the hut, like cleaning or fixing things. Leo often sat by the window, watching the sky. One evening, as Tomel was fixing a broken tool, Leo walked over. "Why are you helping?" "U.S." Leo asked. Tomel looked up. "Because you needed help. And because sometimes it feels good to help." Leo gave a small smile, the first one Tomel had seen on his face. "I wish more people were like you," Leo said. Tomel gave a small laugh. "I'm just a miner. Nothing special." Leo looked at him for a long moment. "You're special to us." Tomel didn't know what to say. He just nodded and went back to fixing the tool. But deep inside, he felt something new, like a small light warming his heart. Outside, the winds of Vetronine blew hard. But inside Tomel's small hut, Something else had begun. A bond, a friendship, a story that would change not just their lives, but perhaps the fate of many. Days passed quietly in Tomo's small hut. The twins, Leo and Mira, slowly grew stronger. Their faces no longer looked pale, and their eyes didn't seem so afraid anymore. Tomo kept them hidden, only letting them go outside when it was dark. He gave them his share of food and brought extra water. Sometimes Mira would hum soft songs in a strange language while cleaning the tools. Leo liked to sit near Tomo, asking questions about human life, even though Tomo wasn't used to talking much. He started to enjoy their company. It felt like his quiet, empty life had found a reason. One night, a strong wind blew over the colony. Tomo stayed inside, fixing an old radio that hadn't worked for months. Mira was folding blankets, and Leo sat near the door, staring outside. Suddenly, Leo sat up straight. His eyes went wide, and his body became stiff. Tomo noticed it right away. "What's wrong?" Leo whispered. "Someone's coming, fast." Tomo frowned. He stood up and listened. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, footsteps outside. Heavy boots crunching the ground. Tomo's heart raced. "Under the bed, now," he whispered. The twins didn't argue. They crawled under the bed in seconds. Tomo grabbed a hammer and stood near the door, trying to look normal. A loud knock shook the hut. "Tomo, open up." It was Bran, one of the mining guards. Tomo opened the door, keeping a calm face. Bran, a big man with a thick beard, gave him a sharp look. "We've been told someone's sneaking around the supply shed," Bran said. "You seen anything?" Tomo shook his head. "Nothing. I just come here after work." "Why?" Bran's eyes narrowed. "Company doesn't like strangers around. You know the rule." Tomo gave a short nod. "Of course." Bran stared at him for a moment longer. Then he shrugged. "Keep your eyes open. If you see anything, tell us." Tomo forced a smile. "Sure." Bran walked away without another word. Tomo shut the door and locked it. The moment Bran was out of sight, the twins crawled out. Mira looked at Tomo with wide eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Tomo sighed and sat down. That was close. Then he turned to Leo. "How did you know he was coming?" "You heard him?" Leo shook his head. "No, I felt it. Before he came. I just knew." Tomo looked at him carefully. "Knew." Leo nodded. "It happens sometimes. I can feel when danger is near. I don't know why." Tomo thought about it. He had seen many strange things on this planet, but a boy who could sense danger, that was rare. Mira sat beside her brother and held his hand. "Our elders said Leo was born with a gift, but we don't know what it means." Tomo leaned back in his chair. "Well, whatever it is, it saved us tonight." Leo gave a shy smile. "I just wanted to help." Tomo smiled back. "You did." The next morning, Tomo went to the mines, as usual, but his mind stayed on Leo and his strange gift. At work, he heard the guards talking. They were searching all huts in the colony. The company had ordered them to check for outsiders. Tomo's heart dropped. The guards would come to his hut soon, and if they found the twins, he couldn't let that happen. That evening, after his shift, Tomo rushed back. The twins were waiting, their faces full of worry. "We have to leave," Tomo said. "They're coming to search the huts. We can't stay here." Mira's eyes filled with fear. "Where will we go?" Tomo grabbed a small bag and packed food, water, and tools. "We'll hide in the old tunnels. The company forgot about them long ago." Leo stood up. "We trust you." Tomo gave a small nod. "Stay close to me. Don't make a sound." As night fell, they slipped out of the hut and moved toward the mines. The sky was dark, and only the sound of wind followed them. Tomo led them to an old tunnel entrance behind a broken wall. He pushed aside some rocks and opened a hidden door. The air inside was cold and smelled of dust. They went inside, moving deeper into the darkness. After walking for some time, they reached a large open space. Tomo lit a small lamp. The place was filled with old mining machines, tools, and ships, small transport ships, left by miners who had escaped the company long ago. Tomo stared at them. He had heard stories about this hidden place, but never believed it. Mira looked around with wide eyes. Are these working? Tomo checked one of the ships. It was old, rusty, but the main parts seemed fine. With some work, maybe. Leo walked over to him. We will help you fix it. Tomo looked at the twins. They were not just scared children anymore. They wanted to stand with him. That night, as they rested inside the hidden space, Leo sat beside Tomo. Back on our world, Leo said softly, we have a custom. If someone saves your life, you become their life-bound friend. Tomo raised an eyebrow. Life-bound friend, Leo nodded. It means we stay with them, protect them, and never forget. Tomo gave a small smile. Well, I guess I'm stuck with you two now. Mira joined them and laughed softly. We're happy to be stuck with you. For the first time in many years, Tomo felt something he had forgotten, a sense of belonging. Outside, the colony guards searched hut after hut, but Tomo, Leo, and Mira were gone deep in the tunnels. A new bond had formed, one stronger than fear, stronger than danger, and their real journey was only beginning. Inside the dark tunnels beneath the mining colony, Tomo, Leo, and Mira worked together like a small team. The old transport ship they found was covered in dust, with broken wires and dead power cells. But the frame was strong, and the engine was still there. Tomo spent hours checking every part. Mira helped by cleaning the ship and bringing tools. Leo stayed near the entrance, always alert, watching for danger. Even though the ship was old, Tomo believed they could fix it. We can make this fly again, Tomo said one evening, wiping oil from his hands. Leo gave a hopeful smile. You think so? Tomo nodded. It'll take time. But if we work together, yes? Mira clapped her hands softly. I will help however I can. Tomo smiled at her spirit. He liked how they didn't give up, even after everything they'd been through. But danger was never far behind. One morning, while they were fixing a power line, Leo suddenly froze. Tomo saw the change in his face. What is it? Leo whispered. They are coming. The guards. Tomo stood up at once. Where? Leo closed his eyes for a moment. Near the tunnel. They will find this place soon. Tomo's heart pounded. They couldn't stay here. If the guards found them, it was over. We have to leave now, Tomo said firmly. They grabbed what little food and water they had packed. Mira carried a small toolkit. Leo held a map they had drawn of the tunnels. Tomo led the way through a narrow passage behind the shipyard. The tunnels twisted like a maze. Sometimes they had to crawl through small openings. Other times they crossed old metal bridges that creaked. Under their weight, Leo moved quickly, leading them through paths he had never seen before. It was as if his gift was guiding him. After what felt like hours, they reached an open cavern. In the center stood a strange object, a small round craft, shining under the dim tunnel lights. Tomo stared at it. What is this? Mira walked around. The craft, her eyes wide. It's not human-made. The craft was smooth, almost like glass, with no sharp edges. Strange symbols covered its sides. Leo placed his hand on it. It feels warm. Tomo looked at them both. Do you know what this is? Mira shook her head. No, but it feels alive. Tomo didn't like the sound of that, but they had no time. We can't stay here. Let's move, Tomo said, but as they turned to leave, a loud noise echoed through the tunnels. Voices. The guards were near. They ran through dark tunnels, over broken floors. Their hearts raced as the sound of footsteps grew louder behind them. Tomo led them into a side tunnel, hoping it was a way out. But soon, they hit a dead end. A wall of rocks blocked their path. Mira gasped. We're trapped. Tomo turned around, holding a metal rod like a weapon. We'll fight if we have to. Leo stepped forward, his eyes glowing faintly. No, wait. He placed his hands on the rock wall. He closed his eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a soft light spread from his hands. The rocks started to shake, and then moved aside, sliding like sand. A hidden door appeared. Tomo stared in shock. How did you? Leo opened his eyes, his face calm. I don't know. I just knew. Mira hugged her brother. You saved us. Tomo gave a quick nod. Come on, let's go. They slipped through the door just as the guards entered the tunnel behind them. the hidden path took them deeper underground. After a long walk, they reached an old service lift. It was rusty, but it seemed to work. Tomo pressed the control. The lift shook and slowly moved upward. As they rose, Tomo looked at Leo. "You have something special, Leo." Leo gave a small smile. "I'm not sure if it's a gift or a curse." Tomo shook his head. "Whatever it is, it's saving our lives." The lift stopped near the surface. A door opened to a quiet forest outside the mining zone. Fresh air rushed in. They had made it out. For the first time in days, Tomo felt the tightness in his chest loosen. Mira stepped out and stretched her arms. "We're free." Tomo smiled. For now, that night, they camped in the woods. They sat around a small fire, eating dry bread and sharing stories. Lio looked at Tomo. "We can't keep running forever." Tomo nodded. "I know." Mira held her brother's hand. "Then, what do we do?" Tomo stared at the dark sky. "We fix that ship, the one we found underground. We fly away from this place." Leo's eyes brightened. "Together." Tomo smiled. "Yes, together." The twins looked at each other and nodded. Lio placed his hand on Tomo's shoulder. "We owe you everything. Our people, they believe in life bonds. You saved us. We are bound to you now." Tomo felt a strange warmth inside. "I didn't save you because I wanted anything. I did it because you needed help," Mira said softly. "And we will help you, too." Tomo looked at them both and gave a rare smile. "You already have." Far away, inside the mining colony, the guards searched empty tunnels. But Tomo, Leo, and Mira were gone, out of reach, out of sight. Together, they had escaped the shadow of danger, and now their real adventure was about to begin. The forest was quiet under the pale moonlight. Tomo, Leo, and Mira sat around a small fire. They were far from the mining colony now, hidden deep in the woods. Tomo had found an old cabin made of stone and wood, left by hunters long ago. It wasn't much, but it gave them a roof and a safe place to sleep. They used the days to rest and gather food from the forest. At night, they talked about what to do next. "We can't stay here forever," Tomo said one evening. "The guards will search the forest soon." Leo nodded. "We have to leave this planet." Mira sat with a broken communicator in her lap. "I've been trying to fix this. Maybe we can send a message." Tomo glanced at the old device. It was from the ship they found in the tunnel, small, cracked, half-dead. "You really think it'll work?" Tomo asked. Mira gave a soft smile. "I have to try." For the next few days, Mira worked on the communicator. She used small tools, wires, and even some parts from Tomo's mining equipment. Leo helped her, giving ideas and keeping watch outside. Tomo collected supplies, food, water, and firewood. He stayed close, but inside, he knew they needed a better plan. They couldn't fix a ship without help, and they couldn't send a message unless the device worked. But something in Mira's eyes gave him hope. She never gave up. One night, as stars filled the sky, Mira finally called out, "It's working." Tomo and Leo rushed over. The small communicator buzzed with a soft light. Mira pressed a few buttons, her hands shaking slightly. A strange sound filled the air, a soft humming. Signal. Lio leaned in. "Is it sending?" Mira nodded. "It's not just sending, it's receiving." Tomo frowned. "Receiving?" Mira placed the communicator on the table. A soft voice came from it, speaking in a language Tomo didn't understand. Leo's eyes widened. "It's our language." Mira turned to him. "What does it say?" Leo listened carefully. "It's a call from survivors. They're looking for others." Tomo sat down slowly. "Survivors? Like you?" Leo nodded. "Yes, our people. Some of them survived the attack." Mira's eyes filled with hope. "They're calling for help." Tomo crossed his arms. "And where are they?" Leo checked the device. "It says they're on a planet called Orcs 5. It's far, but they're hiding there." Tomo stood up. "Then we know what we have to do." Mira looked at him. "You mean go to them?" Tomo nodded. "Yes. We leave this planet and find them." Leo's voice was soft but sure. "We'll need a ship, and we'll need you." Tomo met their eyes. "I'm with you." That night, they packed everything they had. The communicator showed the way, a small blinking light pointing toward Orcs 5. They didn't know how far it was. They didn't know what waited for them. But they knew one thing together. They had a chance. The next morning, Tomo made a plan. We'll go back to the underground tunnels. He said, "We fixed the transport ship we found there. It's our only way out," Leo nodded. "And I'll guide us through the tunnels. I can feel the safe paths." Mira packed the communicator and tools. "I'll help fix the ship." Tomo looked at them both. "Then let's move." The journey back wasn't easy. They walked for 2 days, avoiding guards and hiding during the day. At night, they traveled under the cover of darkness. Lio used his strange sense to avoid danger. Twice, they changed paths just before patrols passed by. Tomo noticed it more and more. Leo's gift was real. Finally, they reached the secret entrance to the tunnels. Tomo moved the rocks aside and opened the hidden door. They slipped inside. The dark air wrapping around them. It felt strange coming back here, but it was their only chance. They reached the underground shipyard. The old transport ship still stood there, waiting. Tomo ran his hand along its metal frame. "Let's get to work." For 3 days, they worked non-stop. Tomo fixed the engine and rewired the controls. Mira worked on the power system. Leo helped with lifting parts and finding supplies. Sometimes, Leo placed his hands on broken parts, and somehow, the machines worked again. Tomo couldn't explain it. He didn't try. Whatever power Leo had, it was helping them. On the 3rd night, they finished. The ship hummed softly as the power came on. Mel smiled for the first time in days. "It's ready." Mira cheered softly. Leo looked at them both. "We're leaving this world together." But as they prepared to launch, something strange happened. The communicator buzzed again, this time louder. Mira grabbed it. "It's another message." Leo listened closely. His face turned serious. "It's a warning. They're saying, the Dark Ones are coming." Tomo frowned. "Dark Ones?" Mira whispered, "We've heard stories. Shadow ships that follow the life bond." Tomo stared at them. "What does that mean?" Leo met his eyes. "It means, when we made the life bond with you, someone else felt it," Mira added softly, "and now, they're coming for us." Tomo took a deep breath. "We leave now. Whatever comes, we face it together." The twins nodded. They had no choice. And somewhere deep inside, they knew their story had only just begun. The small transport ship floated silently in the dark sky as Tomo, Leo, and Mira prepared for launch. The engines hummed softly, ready to carry them far from the mining planet. But even as they worked, a shadow moved unseen nearby. Leo's eyes narrowed. "I feel it again." Tomo looked up. "Feel what?" Leo pointed toward the stars. "Dark ships. They are close." Mira checked the communicator. "The signal is getting stronger. They are coming faster." Tomo's heart beat. "Faster? Who are they?" Leo's voice was quiet but serious. "They are the silent enemy. No face, no name. Just shadows that hunt the life-bound." Tomo frowned. "Life-bound?" Mira explained. "When we saved you, a bond formed between us. The life-bound mark connects us." Tomo looked at them both. "So, they're after me because of that bond?" Leo nodded. "Yes, they want to break the bond, to take away the hope we carry." Tomo clenched his fists. "Well, they will have to try hard." The ship lifted off smoothly. Stars flashed by as they moved away from the planet. But the feeling of danger stayed close. Suddenly, sensors beeped. Loudly, multiple ships approaching fast, Mira said. Tomo looked out the window. In the distance, shadow ships appeared, dark and sleek, with no lights. "They don't want to be seen." Tomo said, "We have to stay hidden." Leo focused, closing his eyes. "I can sense their moves. They circle us." Mira worked quickly, turning off the ship's lights and hiding their engine's heat. The dark ships moved in a silent dance, close but never attacking. "Why don't they attack?" Tomo asked. Leo's eyes opened slowly. "They wait. They want to test us." Hours passed with the silent ships surrounding them. Tomo and the twins stayed alert but calm. "We have to find a way to stop them," Tomo said. Mira nodded. "But how? They are not like anything we've faced." Leo looked thoughtful. "Maybe they are afraid of something. Maybe they cannot break the life bond if we stay strong. Tomel smiled. Then we keep the bond strong, together. As the dark ship circled, Tomel noticed something strange whenever Leo touched the ship's controls. The shadows moved back a little. Curious, Tomel watched as Leo placed his hands on the metal walls. A soft blue light glowed from Leo's fingers, spreading gently across the ship's surface. The dark ships hesitated, then pulled away. Mira gasped. Leo, you're doing something. Leo smiled weakly. I don't know how, but maybe my gift is more than danger sense. Tomel nodded. Whatever it is, it's protecting us. The silence broke suddenly. The communicator beeped loudly. Mira answered quickly. It's a message from Orcs 5. Tomel leaned forward. What does it say? A strong, calm voice spoke. We know you are coming. We are ready to welcome you. Leo's eyes filled with hope. We're not alone. Mira smiled. Help is waiting. Tomel's heart lifted. Then we keep going. The dark ships did not attack again. Instead, they followed at a distance, watching. Tomel, Leo, and Mira felt the weight of their journey but stayed brave. They knew their bond was the key to their survival, and as they moved toward Orcs 5, they prepared for the challenges ahead. Far away, the silent enemy waited in the shadows, planning their next move. But the light of hope shone bright in the small ship held by three friends bound by fate. Their story was far from over. The ship moved steadily through the dark space, heading toward Orcs 5. Tomel sat quietly, watching the stars outside the window. Beside him, Leo and Mira prepared for what was to come. The closer they got, the more the space around Orcs 5 became dangerous. Lightning storms flashed through the clouds, and space debris moved like a storm on the edge of a calm sea. The planet was hidden deep inside a heavy storm belt, making it almost impossible to reach. Mira studied the ship's controls carefully. We have to fly through this storm. There's no other way. She looked at Tomel. It will be hard, but I believe we can do it. Tomel nodded. We trust you. Leo placed his hand on Tomel's arm. We're ready, together. As they entered the storm belt, the ship shook. Lightning flashed around them, and powerful winds pushed the small craft in every direction. Tomel gripped the chair tightly. This is worse than anything I have ever faced. Mira's hands moved quickly over the controls. Steady and calm. We can make it if we stay focused. Leo closed his eyes and placed his hands on the ship's hull. A soft blue light glowed, spreading from his fingertips across the metal. The strange light seemed to calm the storm around them. Tomel watched, amazed. Leo, what are you doing? Leo opened his eyes. I don't know. It's like I'm connected to the storm. Mira smiled. Maybe your gift is stronger than we thought. The storm tried to push them back, but the ship kept moving forward finally. After what felt like hours, they broke through the clouds. Below them lay a beautiful planet covered with green forests and blue oceans. This is Orcs 5, Mira said softly. We made it. They landed the ship carefully on a smooth field near a forest. As the engines powered down, they heard voices nearby. A group of aliens came forward to meet them. They looked peaceful and kind, with soft smiles and curious eyes. An elder stepped forward. He wore long robes with symbols that matched the ones on the twin ship. Welcome, travelers, he said in a gentle voice. We have been waiting for you. Leo and Mira bowed respectfully. We are glad to be here. Tomel stepped forward. I'm Tomel. I've helped them get here. The elder smiled. You have done more than help. You carry the life bond. Tomel looked at them, confused. What is the life bond? The elder explained. It is a sacred connection between those who save each other's lives. It gives strength and hope. It is rare and powerful. Mira nodded. Our people believe it can change the future. That night, the elders gathered round a fire and told stories of their race. They spoke of peace, kindness, and the hope to rebuild what was lost. But then the mood changed. The elder looked serious. The dark force you sense is real. It hunts the life bond because it fears what it represents. Tomel asked, what does this dark force want? The elder's eyes darkened. It wants to destroy hope, to keep the galaxy in fear. Leo clenched his fists. We can't let that happen. Mira said. We came here to find help, but now we must prepare to fight. Tomo looked at the twins. Not with weapons. The elder nodded. Yes. The life bond's power is not in battle, but in unity. The next days passed with training and learning. Tomo learned about the twins' gift and the strength it gave to those connected. He practiced focusing his mind, opening himself to the bond. Leo and Mira taught him how to feel their thoughts and protect their connection. The bond between them grew stronger every day. Then one night, the sky grew dark again. The dark ships appeared in the distance, moving toward Orcs 5. The galaxy's silent enemy had come to test the life bond, but this time, Tomo, Leo, and Mira stood together stronger than before. The light from their bond shone bright, pushing back the shadows. The storm raged around them, but they stood firm. The battle was not of weapons or war, it was a battle of hope against fear. The dark ships tried to break the bond, but the strength of friendship and trust held firm. Slowly, the dark ships retreated, disappearing into the depths of space. When the storm cleared, the elders smiled. You have done what many could not. You showed that hope can defeat darkness. Tomo smiled, feeling a warmth inside. I didn't do it alone. Leo and Mira nodded. Together, we are stronger. As dawn broke over Orcs 5, a new chapter began, not just for the twins or Tomo, but for all who believed in the power of friendship. The life bond had saved them all. The morning sun rose gently over the peaceful forests of Orcs 5. Birds sang softly, and a cool breeze moved through the tall trees. For Tomo, Leo, and Mira, this was more than just a new day. It was a new start. The dark ships that had hunted them were gone, pushed back by the power of the life bond. The elders had welcomed them as friends, and the twins' people were beginning to rebuild their home. Tomo stood outside the small village, watching children play near the streams. He smiled quietly, thinking about how much had changed since he first found the twins starving and alone. Leo and Mira walked up beside him. We have a new life here, Mira said softly. A life full of hope. Leo nodded. But we never forget where we came from. Tomo looked at them both. You taught me what true friendship means. Mira smiled. And you showed us kindness when we needed it most. They stood together, the bond between them strong and clear. But their journey was not over yet. One day, while exploring the forest near the village, Tomo found something unusual. A small device, half buried in the dirt. He picked it up carefully. It was similar to the communicator they had fixed, but newer, with strange markings. Leo examined it closely. This is a message, but from someone else. Mira looked concerned. Who could it be? Tomo turned the device on. A soft voice came through. Help! We are trapped. The Dark Ones return. The message repeated itself, weak but clear. Tomo's face grew serious. The Dark Ones are still out there. Leo clenched his fists. We must help them. Mira nodded. We cannot let fear win. Tomo smiled with quiet confidence. Then we keep the bond strong, and we move forward together. The elders gathered to listen to the message. They knew the fight against darkness was not over, but they also knew that with unity and hope, they could face any challenge. Leo stepped forward. We have a choice, to hide or to stand. Mira's eyes shone bright. We choose to stand. Tomo put his hand on their shoulders. Then let's be the light in the darkness. Weeks passed, and the community worked to prepare. Tomo helped build stronger defenses, not of weapons, but of knowledge and trust. Leo and Mira taught others how to strengthen the life bond, to protect each other with friendship. The village grew closer, and hope spread like wildfire. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, the dark ships returned. But this time, the people of Orcs 5 were ready. Instead of fear, they met the shadows with light. Together, their bonds formed a shield, pushing back the darkness. The dark ships tried to break the connection, but the power of unity was stronger. One by one, the shadows fled, disappearing into the vastness of space. After the battle, the village celebrated with songs and stories. Tomo, Leo, and Mira stood together, knowing they had changed the future. The twins smiled. Because you believed in us, we found hope. Tomo looked at the stars, feeling Peace for the first time in many years. Because you trusted me, I found family. Mira laughed softly. We are more than friends now, we are life-bound. And so, their story became a legend. A story of kindness, courage, and the power of friendship. A story of three souls from different worlds, joined by fate and hope. Together, they showed that even in the darkest times, light can shine through. The twins looked at Tomel with gratitude in their eyes. Thank you, Tomel. Tomel smiled warmly. No, thank you. Together, they faced the stars, ready for whatever the future held. The end.